What up? What up? What up? We about to eat because I just got home from the gym. But this is like some what's these called? This is olive oil chips, and I just wanted a little sandwich. A little sandwich. But I want to come to y'all because something wild. Get y'all. Something wild had happened, and I be needing people to really understand it ain't all us, and I mean it because first, if y'all haven't checked out my experience with the few people that I've already done interviews with, check those out. Second, to the women, to the women, to the women, to the women. Let me tell y'all something. I so apologize for the stuff that women have to go through because today I'm sitting here talking to one of my uncles. Long story short, was my sister was basically over my family's house, and literally we're sitting there. I'm on the phone. Y'all know I live in another country, so and excuse me, my braces sometimes. And it's so interesting talking to my uncle sometimes because they're so misogynistic that they don't know and they don't hear themselves. So we're talking about something as simple as Ironheart with Riri Williams. You know, I did my reviews on it. We're talking. He says, one, he didn't know that it wasn't in theaters. He thinks it's in theaters. I'm like, no, it's not in theaters. You know, it's on Disney Plus. He's like, oh, okay. He then proceeds to say, oh, I think that she's nothing but a knockoff Iron Man. And I'm like, what would make you think that? Like, if you don't know the comics. Of course, he didn't have any solid evidence on why he felt like that. But sometimes I understand when ladies say men don't really be liking women. The mere disgust on his face about her even being in the MCU, didn't watch it. I was saying something like, well, if Manifesto, which is a villain, if Manifesto's in, I think it'll probably be good, but I'm still not sure. And I was like, so it got to be good because a man in it. And I want to tell y'all, sometimes as a man, I have to step outside of myself and listen to some of the things men say. Uh, just how crazy men do be sounding and how intimidated men really are when it comes to men being intimidated by women. When I tell y'all, there was no reason for him to say the things he said or feel the way he felt. Me as a man, I was like, oh yeah, it was really good. That whole time, okay. The whole time, he's literally like, oh, it's not gonna do good. I've already heard bad reviews about it. And I'm like, you do know that it's already out, right? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's already out. Like the show's already out. And he's like, oh. He's like, well, I'm pretty sure it didn't do good. I'm like, it did do good. Like, and he's like, well, what's the whole, she's nothing but a knockoff Iron Man. I'm like, I'm literally like, you clearly didn't read the fucking comic. Excuse my language, but Iron Man is a billionaire. This girl's from Chicago. And I just always look at, and it's not even just because of a comic, you know, like, I think some people think all men are the same. All of us think alike. All of us are misogynistic. And of course, that's not a blanket statement, but you know, and I gotta say, you would have to be misogynistic to view a woman in a way that makes you superior to her. You know, like some of my favorite characters in any show, MCU or not, have been the women. Even though some of the men are the strongest, there's some really good characters. Riri Williams being one. I think Storm is in the MCU. Um, or X-Men. Some of the strongest mutants are women. But it goes on to say, I say this because I remember I was in Barcelona when I was living in Barcelona, and I didn't understand just how. Oh no, let me go back to Atlanta. One time I'm in Atlanta and I'm telling this girl, you know, I'm a nice guy. I don't know why women cross the street when they see me. I'm not gonna do anything to them. And she's like, they don't fucking know you. I'm like, okay, true, true. Um, now she was like, most likely, or usually, women have to deal with a lot of misogyny. You know, cat calling and stuff like that. I'm like, that's true. But I'm sorry, y'all, I'm hungry. I started slowly understanding that I needed to pay more attention. You know, not just pay attention to just women, but pay attention to the way that other men treat women. And I think I told y'all, probably was in one of my videos. A lot of times, I have to check myself and make sure that I'm not like out here being crazy, doing stupid stuff, treating women's ways because I'm a man. So, fast forward to a story. I'm in Barcelona and coming home drunk. I was drunk. That's when I was drinking. I don't drink anymore. But coming home, and I see this girl across the street. Now, you see catcalling all the time. As a man, I see men catcall women all the time. Was it something that I was cool with? No. As long as he didn't hurt her, I didn't see a reason to really be in somebody's business. Maybe he's trying to holler. Maybe she's gonna like it. But this particular night, I see a girl, and she kind of like look over me like, and I'm like, oh, and a guy following her. So I pretend like she's my girlfriend. I'm like, baby, what are you doing out? And she's like, oh my God. The guy stops. He kind of like stops in his tracks. For a minute, I'm not even tripping off of it. Right? So I'm not gonna walk you home and make sure you're okay. She's okay. Luckily, we lived on the same street, you know. And and I say that because with the Diddy situation that happened, somebody said something. Some of the laws, or most of the laws, were made to protect predators. You know, they were made by predators to protect predators. You know, in so many words. And I think that's what we need to start understanding. I don't think um you know anything is anything, to be honest. You know, like uh but the only way that we can change it is for us men to fight men. So one thing that just happened that I want to talk about, because um this is what's about to happen in the world. I think we need to see it. Your boy, the big. I think everybody wants these bills outside of the case. Next one we're gonna go to. I just want to get some couple stories out. I was just gonna run my mouth, but Miss Kelly, and I like Kelly. Miss Kelly. Real Housewives star Kelly Farrell sued over nearly 30,000 in credit card debt. Maybe it's one of her little cards. I would use that because somebody that used to teach me about credit cards said, "Oh, my big one or my little one." Maybe it's one of the little ones. Maybe she forgot. Um, nah, I just want y'all to know credit only exists in America. All of this, you know, the credit only exists in America. Everybody else be buying they stuff straight out. I just want y'all to know. Or, you know, they may have a little payment plan or something, but they ain't really got the same credit as the states do. And I want people to truly understand that everybody ain't doing this. But I'm gonna say this, and I just want to joke about it. Miss Mama, she already renewed for the next season. Kelly, pay that 30 grand off with that 1.5 mil that you probably got. I'm probably thinking probably 800,000. You probably got 800,000. I'm probably 800, 700,000. But I heard that check nasty. I heard it's like 40, 50,000 the first season of Real Housewives, but then the next year it's like nasty. So even for Angela took the little hit from losing them properties, and literally she's about to get that back, which is crazy. Like took the hit, lost, foreclosed on the homes, boom, boom, boom. At watch, she finna get a nasty check from Bravo, and then she good, you know. But I will say this: this is not too far fetched from Atlanta. I just want y'all to know, Atlanta get down like that. Atlanta is like the mecca of um, fraud and everything else. You know, um, it will always be that. So don't believe everything you see in Atlanta. You know, like in Atlanta, but what they used to say, believe half of what you hear and no, and a quarter of what you see or something like that. Whatever that is, that's what it is. You know, and that's the truth. Um, Next, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna go to. I was gonna say something about Drea Michelle, but I'm gonna keep myself up off Drea, because um it's something that I want to touch on, but I want to touch on it from a different point of view, and I wanted y'all to take a listen to this. Let me take a listen. 1 second. Take a listen to this.
God?
I believe in the universe.
How about God?
Let me let y'all.
Are you a Christian?
No.
You're not a Christian. Do you believe in God?
I believe in the universe.
How about God?
You call it God, I call it the universe. The universe is everywhere. So I believe everything starts with the universe. The love I have for the universe allows me to love everybody with no judgment whatsoever. Whatever you do, however you do it. So I don't play in groups. I don't play Christianity. I don't play Muslim. I don't play Baptist. I simply play love. I belong to the group called Love, and I believe in the universe.
So when you say universe, are you saying the universe is God?
Right.
Oh.
Yes, that's you call it God. I say the universe. I say it's always everywhere, all the time, sees all things, everything. So what you say, God, because see, for me, in my humble opinion, especially in our community, God got a lot of restrictions. God got a lot of rules. God jealous. God be mad as shit, Jesse. God gonna punish you and send you to hell. I don't want to fool with him. God costs 10% of my money. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why am I paying? What am I? So for me, it got to Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I just say, I want to just love you, and that's it.
Amazing.
So we're gonna make this my last one. Then I gotta get on out of here, y'all. When she says that she does not believe in Jesus Christ, she does not have a God. She believes more in the universe. I'm gonna be honest. I'm more aligned with this for a number of reasons. One of the reasons being, in all honesty, there is no way that. And I'll say this. I'll tell you this story really quick. I remember I went to church, and every week the pastor used to preach against homosexuality. Every week. Every week the same, he'll speak about other things, but it would always sometimes come back to homosexuality. And I remember asking my grandmother, and I said, hey, why? Because the guy that played the piano, we all know somebody in the church that's gay. The guy that played the piano at the church was his son, and he was visibly homosexual. And I remember asking my grandmother, why does he preach against homosexuality like every week? Like, it's kind of weird that he speaks against homosexuality every week, but there's so many other things and so many other problems that I can see in the church. But why do you make that like the core of the conversation? And my grandmother was like, well, just ask him. If you want to do it, ask him. So I said, okay, I'll definitely ask. I remember going up to him and I said, hey, you said God created all things in 7 days. What I see, from the trees I see to the buildings that I see to the clothes that I'm wearing to the people that I see in front of me, he has created a way for all of us to be able to do the things that we're doing now. And he says, yes. I said, and he died for our sins and things like that. Well, his son, of course. And he's like, yeah. I said, okay. I said, so question. If God created all things and God created your son that's gay, wouldn't it say more about God than us judging your son that was made in the light and in the warmth of God? Wouldn't it be, the logic would be, we should judge the God for creating him the way that he created him versus we're judging the person that for being created? I said, I just didn't understand that. And mind you, I was like 13. My grandmother was like, what? And I'm like, it doesn't sit well with me, that portion of it, like trying to process what's happening. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. But it's also this, and I know somebody's going to say something. If for me, God is love, just like Monique thinks the universe and things like that. I'm on the same wavelength. I really don't think. I think if a woman could give babies, I don't see a man being the root of everything. And I think that's just to keep patriarchy at the forefront. Let's just be honest. But for everything that we see, from war to R word, man do to women, SA, to, somebody unaliving somebody, wouldn't you think that God or whomever, whatever you call him, the deity, shaman or whatever, wouldn't you think that they would act only in love? And we understand all things are not perfect, but wouldn't you and I say this on the sense of, I have watched family do everything. Women have abortions, women cheat, women sleep around, men do the same, men not take care of their kids. But then that gay thing comes up and it's always at the root. And I've always said this since I've been an adult, that I believe religion allows people to lack accountability, or um, to lack self self understanding, if that makes sense. Like, for me, it's always been that this is what it was, and this is how things were, and this is what people want us to believe. Give me 1 second, because as I'm talking about this, yeah, you see me, because I know you think somebody playing with you, because he thinks somebody playing, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. But for the most part, what I've learned is it pulls people from actually being able to account for things that they've done. Like when somebody does something, somebody makes a new height or does something new or different. What's being said or being done is, the first thing is, thank you, God, for allowing me to get here. Not thank my talents, thank me for waking up. Let me give myself some encouragement, but I have to always root it back to this. And even with that, I've always seen it been met with, if there was this religion, and you're saying this religion, and I'm not going to be long on this, I would think that it would be out of love. And the fact that you can nitpick of what it is and how it is, for me, that makes me not. The what's it called? Organized religion would never be for me, because it just doesn't sit well for the type of person that I am, the type of way that I love, the type of way I want to see love reflected in the world as well. Like, you got MAGA out here saying they Christians, but snatching kids from Latinos. You got the same people say that they was Christian that did slavery. And that's where my mind always goes, is you can't be, this can't be what you think it is. It can't be. But I understand that nobody's willing to take the step to challenge it, because challenging it breaks out of the norm, and then now you're ostracized because you're not a believer, so we can't invest in you, we don't want to invest in you. And I think that's what's kind of crazy. So I think when you think about logically, it doesn't make sense. That's just how I view it. And what I was just doing, we got a peep in time. We do. So I don't know what he's doing. I'm not even, my brain. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say on that. But that's all I wanted to say. I just was rambling today. This been my outlet. I don't know what that is. It's been my outlet, coming on live with you guys, streaming. And then it kind of allows me to piece the videos, take the videos piece apart. But thank you guys for listening. I'm about to get out of here. I ate already, and then I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. Nos vemos pronto.